G'day ladies and gentlemen, Sammy here, and today we're having a look at casting bait casters. Now, for those people who haven't been fishing before or haven't casted a bait caster before, it can be quite daunting to pick up a bait caster and head out for a fish. So I'm going to point you in the right direction, get you casting like a champ, and go through all you need to know to cast a bait caster. Let's check it out. So one of the most important parts of a bait caster, this button here, this is your cast release. Click that, goes into free spool and allows you to cast. Now, to control the tension at which that free spools, you've got this knob here. This is your cast control knob. So you can more tension, less tension, just simply by twisting that knob. Now, if you're after a more precise setting, most bait casters will have this on the back, and it allows you to just add smaller adjustments just to fine tune your cast control. And then finally, we've got a star drag on the side for adding or reducing the drag pressure. Now once we're ready to fish and we've tied our lure on, we need to set up the reel so it's ready to cast that particular lure. Now that means adding or subtracting tension to that spool so when you cast, you don't get an overrun. Now what we look for is once we click it into free spool, we want to see how fast that drops. Now that was pretty quick, so I'm going to add a bit more tension. Starting to slow up a bit now, I'm going to add a bit more. Pretty much you want it to be a slow controlled fall from the rod tip down. Yeah, that's looking a bit more like it. So I might just add a couple more on the side, the micro adjustment there. That's pretty good. Okay, now we're ready to cast. Now, if you haven't cast one before, personally, I'd recommend to start with a side cast first. Now, that allows you to feel the free spool of the reel, allows you to get the hang of the reel first before you start punching out big long casts overhead. So click your button in, hand on the base there, and then just slow, controlled, nice and smooth. You want to keep that thumb just hovering above the spool there so you can control the line at and the rate that it's coming out, because you don't want an overrun. That's a good way of casting, but it's not a great way for accuracy or distance. So once you get the hang of casting the side, you feel your reel, you understand what's going on, then you start going overhead, like so. And it flies nice and straight, directly where you're pointing the rod. Now, if you're fishing some form of structure, that overhead cast is going to be a lot more efficient and effective at getting your lure in the zone exactly where you want it and where the fish are. Well guys, that's Baitcaster basics. I hope you've learned something. My best advice would be, grab your Baitcaster setup, head out in the backyard, tie a lure on with no hooks, and target practice at a bucket or something in your backyard until you really start to get the hang of it. Trust me, once you get out in the water, you don't want to be learning all the finer points then. You want to be fishing in the zone. So get out there, do some practice guys. Have a good one. Catch you later.